We're summoning zords and performing gymnastics in the middle of combat. That's right, it's Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid by Renegade Games Studios. This co-op capeless crusade pits 2 to 5 Power Rangers against Rita Repulsa and her army of monsters and putty foot soldiers. Players use their energy and Power Ranger skills to defeat Rita's forces before they overwhelm Angel Grove. But can you blame her with a last name like Repulsa? I'm on her side. Setup begins with the command center in the middle of the table. Randomly place the 4 location boards around the command center. Form a supply of game tokens nearby. You'll need the combat dice, damage tokens, panic tokens, energy tokens, lead ranger and megazord token, and the enemy figurines. Next, place the power board nearby and set the power marker to 0. Shuffle the 5 regular Zord cards to form the Zord deck. Add the Megazord card to the bottom and place the deck face down on the power board. Next, each player chooses a ranger and takes the corresponding ranger figure, character card, and 10 combat cards. They also take 2 action tokens and 1 energy token, which is their limit throughout the game. They then shuffle the 10 cards and place them face down to create their personal combat deck. During this step, the player may draw up to 5 cards to form their starting hand. Create the opponents of the game by shuffling the 20-foot soldier deployment cards, then divide them into 4 piles of 5 cards each, face down. Take the monster deployment cards, randomly select 2, and shuffle 1 of each into the 2nd and 3rd piles. Shuffle the boss deployment card into the 4th pile. Stack these piles left to right to form the deployment deck. Take the enemy decks for the 2 types of foot soldiers and shuffle them separately, creating a deck for each. Set aside the monster and boss decks for now. Gameplay is divided into rounds, each split into 2 phases. The deployment phase, where enemies attack various locations, inflicting panic on the citizens of Angel Grove, and the action phase, where the Power Rangers take actions to stop Rita's armies. In the deployment phase, the players will reveal 5 enemy deployment cards, one at a time from the top of the deployment deck. The revealed card will indicate the number of figures that need to be placed on the board, and the back of the next card on the stack determines their location. For example, these 2 putty patrollers will deploy at Angel Grove High. Each location in Angel Grove has a figure limit, the number of enemies that can be present before the area erupts into chaos. If a location ever contains more enemy figures than its figure limit, the area becomes panicked. Place a panic token on that space. When revealing cards from the deployment deck, if the next card on the stack is a monster or boss card, reveal that card as well, instantly deploying the foot soldiers and that monster or boss to the next card's location. Additionally, whenever a monster or boss deploys at a location, that area immediately becomes panicked. One thing to note, if an enemy would be deployed on an area that is already panicked, they instead move to the next location on the board in a clockwise direction. Once the deployment is complete, all foot soldier cards can be shuffled and placed on the bottom of the deployment deck. Remove any monster or boss deployment cards from the game, cause they can only spawn once. Next, in the action phase, the Power Rangers take actions to save Angel Grove. Like many co-op games, the player team can take turns in whichever order they agree upon. By flipping one of their action tokens face down, a ranger may take one of 3 actions: move, battle, or recover. Move allows the player to move their Power Ranger figure to any other location on the board, regardless of distance. Movement to the locations in Angel Grove means the Power Ranger will be able to battle with the enemies there on a subsequent action. When moving to the command center, the Power Ranger may power up, shuffling together all the cards in their deck, hand, and discard pile, then drawing back up to 5 cards. When powering up, they also receive 1 energy token if they are depleted. The battle action initiates a battle between the Rangers and enemies in that location. Whomever used an action to initiate the battle takes the lead Ranger token, but other players in that location are involved in the battle as well. I'll come back to battle details in a second. The third possible action, Recover, allows a player to choose up to 6 shields worth of cards in their discard pile and shuffle them back into their combat deck, and replenish 1 energy token from the supply if they are depleted. Once all Power Rangers have flipped all their action tokens, the round is over and a new one begins with another deployment phase. This continues until the players either win the game or are defeated. Before we delve into win conditions, let's talk about fightin'. Battles resolve over 4 steps. First, Ranger Preparation. Take 2 energy tokens from the supply and place them on the power board, creating what is known as the shared energy pool, which I believe connects us all. No? Okay. Next, each Ranger in the battle may draw up to a hand limit of 5 cards from their combat deck in order to prep for the fight. Second, Enemy Preparation. Based on the number of foot soldiers at that location, reveal cards from the corresponding enemy deck in a face-up row from left to right. Any cards revealed in this way that contain the fast designation automatically go to the left of the row. If any monsters or bosses are at the current location, draw 4 cards from their unique enemy deck in the same fashion, but in its own row above the foot soldiers. Third, Enemy and Ranger turns. Now the combatants will alternate turns fighting each other. If the enemies have any fast cards, they go first. Otherwise, the Power Rangers take the first turn. On Ranger turns, one Ranger may play a single combat card from their hand, spending energy tokens from the shared energy pool or their personal supply equal to the cost in the top left of the card. The card then resolves and goes to that player's discard pile. Combat cards include attacks for damaging the enemy, maneuvers to gain the upper hand, and reactions, which can be played out of turn order if their conditions are met. When dealing damage to enemies, place hit tokens on that enemy's card. If the hit tokens meet or exceed its health, that enemy is defeated and flipped face down. When defeating a foot soldier, move the figure to the experience track on the power board. In order to defeat a monster, the Rangers must defeat 4 of that monster's cards. For the boss, it requires 6 defeated cards. When defeating a monster, the remaining foot soldiers in that location are returned to the supply. During the enemy turns, resolve the active enemy card on the top leftmost card and then rotate it 90 degrees. Defeated enemy cards don't do anything during their resolution step. Damage dealt by enemies goes to 1 Ranger of the group's choosing. When suffering damage, the targeted Ranger reveals the top card from their combat deck and counts the shields on the bottom right. If the number of shields is greater than the damage, that card is placed on the bottom of the Ranger's deck. If the number of shields equals the amount of damage, that card is discarded. If the number of shields is less than the damage, that card is discarded, and then the Ranger must reveal another card to resolve the remaining damage coming at them until all the damage is resolved in this way. If a Ranger's deck is ever depleted, they are defeated. They return to the command center and remove 1 energy token from the command center supply. They shuffle their hand and discard pile into a new combat deck and draw up to 5 cards. They may also take an energy token if they are depleted. Once all the enemy cards have been resolved, the Rangers get 1 more turn. Then the battle moves to the cleanup step. If any energy tokens are still in the shared energy pool, the participating Rangers may each take 1 if they are depleted and the rest go back to the supply. All foot soldier enemy cards and undefeated monster and boss cards are shuffled back into their decks. Defeated monster and boss cards are placed in face-up discard piles and count towards their ultimate demise. Finally, if the location is panicked but no enemies remain, the panic token is removed. Whew! Stress-free, baby. Over on the power board, if the experience track is ever filled with foot soldiers, or if a monster is defeated, the Rangers can summon a Zord. When this happens, draw the top card from the Zord deck and award it to the Ranger of the matching color. Return the foot soldiers to the supply. Zords have once per round abilities that can be used by rotating the card 90 degrees. Zord cards all refresh at the end of the action phase. Pretty sweet. Whenever a Zord is summoned, also move the power marker on the track 1 space. As soon as the tracker reaches 6, the Megazord is summoned, and any ranger may use its ability. After Megazord is summoned, defeated foot soldiers no longer go on the experience track. Play continues with the Rangers duking it out with the enemy until one of 3 endgame conditions are met. If all 4 locations are panicked, the Rangers lose. If a Ranger is defeated and the command center has no energy tokens remaining, the Rangers lose. But if the Rangers can defeat the boss card and survive, they win the game. And that's Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid. I'm Becca Scott, and I think Bulk and Skull were just insecure, and that's why they turned out how they did, so maybe we should go easy on them, huh? Huh? Anyway, you can watch me and my friends play this game and other awesome games on Game the Game. That's right here on Geek and Sundry. We'll see you there.